Hi, I'm Amy Ziegler, and I'm here with my friend Kaye Walker, and she is amazing. I met her through a mutual friend, another author friend, actually, and she has so impressed me with her 6 steps to achieving a goal. She has spoken all around the world, helping people achieve their goals, their dreams, keeping their commitments, improving, becoming a better person. And I wanted to share this information with you. So today we're going to have Kaye Walker talk about making and keeping goals, which is super important. Kaye, go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. All right, so I'm going to tell you how I developed this six-step formula first. I was really depressed. I had just been fired from my job and I was circling the drain. Like I'd hit rock bottom. And I had been invited to this personal development seminar and I was like, ew, no. I don't want to go be around happy, energetic people. It sounded horrible. But I kept having this voice tell me, you should probably go. You could probably use some life changing. So I did end up going, and it did end up completely changing the way I looked at everything.
Wow.
And from that moment on, I went to every personal development, that word is hard to say, personal development event that I could find for the next 8 months. And there were two a month that I went to regularly. So I was spending a lot of time working on myself. And during this time, it's all about goals. It's all about, becoming the person you want to be and then unlocking your potential and all that kind of stuff. And so I started experimenting. I was taught vision boards and affirmations and, SMART goals, all the things. And I thought, okay, well, what's going to work for me? So I started experimenting just with visualizing what I wanted and saying it out loud. So those two steps. And it started working pretty good, but I thought, well, I could probably make it better. And so then I added some more steps and then I started speaking about it and I called it my manifesting formula. And I got asked to speak in London. And this was
Oh,
November 2019. And I thought, you know what? I want to be so much better than normal when I go speak on this in London. So I was sitting at my computer and I was asking God, please help me teach this better. Please help me really solidify this formula and for it to be amazing for everyone to get it. And I got this like this download in my head said, well, the way you do it, the way you reach your goals is the same steps as going through a drive-through for food.
wow.
And I was like, what? No, that's not epic enough to compare it to a drive-through
Drive
for
through.
food. But then I really sat and I thought about it and I argued with it and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, you know what? It's true. It is pretty much exactly the same steps as getting food from a drive-through.
Oh, now I'm really excited to hear
Yeah.
more about this. This is
So I
fun.
call it the drive-through method. And
Awesome.
so here's the 6 steps, and anybody can do this for real. So the first step, which is the hardest one, is to get really clear on what you want.
Yeah.
Because if you ask somebody what they want, they are way more likely to tell you what they don't want. Because
Yeah.
everybody knows what they don't want, but they
Yeah.
don't get super clear on what they do want. So if
Defined.
you have
Yeah.
a goal, you got to get so clear on it. You got to work out every detail, the time frame, how it's going to help you, how it's going to help others, what's the ripple effect, like so many details about it. And that is the hardest part. And a lot of people can't get past step one.
Hmm.
So step one, and all the words, all the steps rhyme. So step one is clarification. Get super clear on what you want. And then step two is visualizing it with gratitude. And I know that's kind of two things, but when you visualize it, you can't be like, oh, I'm so sad I don't have that yet. Like the energy you put into it counts. So when
Yeah.
you visualize it, do it with the excitement and gratitude that you've already got it. Like,
As if you've accomplished it.
yeah, you're
Oh, I
kind of
love that.
time traveling to the end of the goal instead of sitting there and thinking, oh man, why don't I have this yet? Right? It's totally
Yeah.
different energy.
Yeah.
So visualize yourself having already reached the goal full of gratitude and excitement for it. And then, so step two is visualization. And then step three is say it out loud. Speak it into the world, speak it into existence. And you don't have to tell other people about it if you're like embarrassed or nervous or want to keep it private. But you know what? We create reality with our words all the time. Words are so powerful. And if you use your body to speak the words out loud and use your hand to write the words, like you're getting more of yourself involved. It's really helpful.
Invested.
So
Yeah.
step 3 is declaration.
Declaration.
Declare it to the world. And then step 4 is my favorite. Usually, like if I do a slideshow of this, I show the scene from Wayne's World where they're in the car singing Bohemian Rhapsody because I love that scene. But then the next step is to quiet your mind.
Oh,
So, if you're in a drive-through, you've looked at the board, you've seen all the food, so you've decided where you wanted to eat. You visualize by looking at the menu board and all the pictures, and then you say it out loud to the person in the drive-through speaker. So you've done those 3 steps. And then the fourth step is you've got to quiet your mind, or if you're looking at the drive-through version of it, you've got to be quiet and listen.
wait.
Leave your
Yeah.
window open, clear your mind, leave your radio off so you can hear what they're going to say. So,
Yeah.
step 4 is meditation.
I
Just be
love it.
quiet and listen. And then step 5 is inspiration, which is when the person tells you what's your step. Or if you're reaching for a goal, when you've done the first 4 steps, you're meditating, you will get an idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes your idea will be keep doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
Sometimes your idea will be something random. A funny one that I get a lot is go clean something out in your house because order is really good for reaching goals. And
Yeah.
if you increase the order of your house, you are making more room for goals to be achieved.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So, whatever the inspiration is, there
Do
you
it.
go. You got an action step, right?
Yeah.
And then step 6 is the other hardest step, which is implementation.
Yeah.
So if you're in the drive-through, you've just been told that'll be $5. Please pull forward to the next window, right? So
You
step
got to
6 is go
do.
do the thing.
Hmm.
Whatever the idea
Pay the
was, step 6
price.
is go do it.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my 6-step formula to get
I
anything you want. Any goal can be achieved with it.
That is so amazing. And I love that that is likened unto the drive-through because I do feel like you have to pay the price. And that price is
Yeah.
not 5.96 for a Happy Meal. It's
Right.
your work, right? It's your
Yes.
effort.
Yes.
And I love both step one and step six. And when we talked about this earlier, I remember you said, oh, it's about manifestation. And I kind of was like, oh, in my head, you didn't see this, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, I just don't think manifestation really works. Like people say, oh, I just want this. So it'll just magically appear. But
Yeah.
I love
That version does not work.
that version does not work for me
Yeah.
anyway.
That's not how I do it.
But I love what you said. You
Thank
have to
you.
be clear. You have to have a clear goal and a time frame. Like when you see yourself and then see yourself like I feel like there is power in visualizing yourself already achieving that because that's what gives you that excitement to go forward,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because if not, then you're like, oh, I'm never going to get this goal. Why am I going through all this effort? I'm working really hard. I'm never going to get it anyway, is never going to allow you to achieve your
Mhm.
goals.
No.
So
Mm-mm.
I think this is brilliant, so
Thank you.
brilliant. So
Thank
I'm going to
you.
work this out. I'm going to try this with my sons, and they have a couple of goals for this
Uh-huh.
summer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write this down, and I'm going to see how they do with their thing, and I'll be curious to see what they receive for that inspiration.
Yeah.
I think that will be a really interesting thing because, like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean, write 10,000 words on this manuscript, which is what I would hope, that God would just like deliver like this inspiration straight to my head, like plugging in.
Right.
But I think it would be cool if it was something like clean your room that will grant you more creativity because I would
Right.
totally do it.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. And it's amazing how many times I've gotten that step.
Yeah, I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
Well,
I love it.
well, awesome. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here, for sharing with us, for giving us that background, that history of your journey. And I'm just super excited. I want to know in the comments if you guys want to try this and tell us a little bit about how it worked for you. And if you want more details, I can put that in the if you want to reach out to Kelly and talk with her, I'll put her details and information and where you can find her also in the comments section below. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks. That was fun.
All right, pause recording. Let's just pause it. All right.